Hey all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and I am out in the garden today because I need to harvest some different vegetables and herbs. I am going to be making a sourdough focaccia today, so let's go ahead and get harvesting. First thing I need to harvest is some green onions. Now if you don't know what a sourdough focaccia is, it's a kind of bread that you bake in a glass dish. And you use sourdough starter, and you make designs on top of the sourdough focaccia bread. And a lot of people will make different like scenery or flowers or just all different kinds of designs. Alright, let's go find some herbs. Alright, I found some thyme over here that I'm going to use. This thyme is covered in snow. It's snowing like crazy today. This is a lemon thyme, so it has a little bit of yellow variegation on the corners of the leaves. I'm going to harvest some of that. And this is similar to just regular thyme, but it has a hint of lemon in it. It's beautiful for cooking. Alright, let's go find some kale. Alright, here is some purple scarlet curly kale. I'm going to harvest a little bit of that. These leaves are gorgeous color. Alright, I think I have everything that I'm going to need. I have some scarlet purple curly kale. I have some lemon thyme. I have a whole bunch of green onions, and I have things that I harvested earlier in the growing season inside. Alright, let's go make a focaccia bread. Alright y'all, we are back in the house and it's time to start our sourdough focaccia. So first thing we're going to do is we're using a nice big bowl. I'm going to be grabbing 3 cups of flour, and then we are going to be putting 2 teaspoons of sea salt in here. I eyeball stuff when I put in ingredients because I've been cooking so long. I kind of know what things look like. Alright, now we are going to be adding a half a cup of sourdough starter. Alright, I'm just going to be adding, this is 1/4 of a cup, so I'm going to be adding 2 to make a half. Alright, now we're going to be adding 3 tablespoons of avocado oil, or you can use olive oil. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm using. And then we are doing 1 and a half cup of warm water. Alright, now that we have everything in there, we're going to go ahead and give this a good stir. Already starting to see bubbles in there. I fed my sourdough starter earlier, so that's already ready to go. You want to use your starter when it's at the peak of its rising process. So lots of bubbles. And ready to rise your bread. So for the sourdough focaccia, you can either use a glass bowl to bake it, or you can use a lot of people will use cast iron. I'm just going to use a glass bowl today to bake it. And when you're using mixing bowls, never use metal. So I'm just using one of these today. You always want to use wooden utensils when you're stirring and working with sourdough starter. Alright, so once we get this all mixed together, and we're going to let this rest for 1 hour in a warm place. Make sure you get everything thoroughly incorporated. Kind of just put it in a ball shape. Then we're going to grab a towel. And we're just going to cover this with a towel and then leave it for 1 hour in a warm place to rise. Alright, we are back after 1 hour and our dough has risen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to oil our hands, and then we're going to start kind of folding this together. So just kind of keep rotating in a circle and keep folding it together. This is also going to stretch it while you do this. Just keep moving in a circular motion. Alright, and after you have it good and shaped, you're going to get your baking pan. And I already oiled the bottom of this. Alright, so we're going to get this shaped up into a circle here. And then we're going to go ahead and get it all into a ball. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're just going to press this down into the shape of the pan. And add a little bit more oil on top so it's not sticking as much. Alright, so you're just forming it to your baking pan. Get it all evened out. Alright, so now we are going to cover this again. And we're going to let this set for 2 more hours. Alright, as we're waiting, we are going to be putting our oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit to preheat. Alright, I just checked this and it looks like our focaccia is all risen. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and poke down the dough. So we're going to put a little bit of oil on our fingers. Alright, so now that we've poked that down, I'm going to go ahead and make a design on here with everything that we harvested from the garden. Alright, so I have the green onions that we harvested earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and press that into our focaccia here. I'm going to be making like a flower scenery design, so I'm just going to space those out. I have some sage leaves here. I'm just gonna put some of those in there. And you can use all kinds of different vegetables or herbs for these. I've seen so many different beautiful ones. You can do so many different things with them. Alright, now I have some cut up little peppers here. Alright, I have purple kale. I don't really have any kind of rhyme or reason how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of putting it all together. When you're making these little pictures on your focaccia bread, you can kind of just make them. Use your imagination. Alright, I'm going to use some thyme. Alright, now that we finished that, I'm going to go ahead and add some sea salt. And this is the bigger, flakier, chunkier sea salt. About 2 teaspoons we're going to do of that on top. Just going to sprinkle that all around. Alright, and we are going to top that off with oil. So we're doing 1/4 of a cup of oil. We're just going to drizzle it all over. Alright, take a look. That beautiful focaccia. Alright, now we are going to put this into the oven for 25 minutes. Alright, this just came out of the oven. Look how beautiful this looks. Alright, so the best thing for the recipe is you want to let this set for at least a few good minutes to let the rest of, because there is going to be avocado oil or olive oil, whichever one you use, on the bottom of this after it's done baking, and you want your bread to absorb all of that, because that's what makes this taste how it does. So you want all of that oil absorbed into your bread before you eat it, but you do want to cut this warm. And a lot of people like to serve this with soup or stew, or just, you know, just a good hearty beautiful meal, chili. So, but just look at how beautiful that turned out. Beautiful bread. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.